your flesh and blood.
Welcome to Tell Me Your Story with Dennis Henson. This is a brand new series we hope that you will enjoy, and it's called Body of Health. Dennis, welcome, and let us start out by telling people about, I guess best way to put it is our disclaimer.
Okay. Well, Richard, thank you so much for having me on this series. I'm really excited about doing this, but I think it's very important that everyone understand that neither of us are medical doctors or have any kind of medical training. We are just people who are very interested in health and being able to get better faster, so that if you have some problem, that gives you a place to go to find things that have worked for other people that may help you, or they may not, but there'll be something worthwhile checking out.
Body of Health is going to be here every week. The website that we're going to suggest you go to for information, number one website is dennisjhenson.com, which we will have in the audio and video podcast videocast. But there's also a Facebook location, and basically it's facebook.com/groups/body of health. Once again, facebook.com/groups, that's plural, groups/body of health. We hope that you will go there to check out the information that Dennis has provided with us. And with that, we move into Body of Health here on Tell Me Your Story. I'm Reverend Dr. D, and my co-host is Dennis Henson. He is the author of Real Impact Daily Inspiration, and we're going to be talking here on the Body of Health about some very interesting things. Dennis, welcome back. It's great to have you with us again.
Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate you having me, and I'm looking forward to today's program.
Well, it's one that, I've spoken about this subject matter countless occasions, and had referencing my great grandmother on my mother's side. She lived to be 100. She received one of those wonderful letters from the governor congratulating her on reaching 100 years.
Wow.
And that's kind of my goal. At the age of 95, she was having her birthday party at her home in Florence, Arizona. And I was recording interviews with people about her. And I was saying, I'm going to outlive her, but she's making it really hard. And it wasn't that I wanted her to go. It was just, so it's been my goal to live a quality of life. And that's part of what this program's all about, too. And today's program has to do with, again, that very subject, having to do with wanting to live longer. We're going to talk about just that, but not just living longer with a good quality, a high-end quality of life, Dennis.
Exactly. I think before we start, though, we probably should mention that we're not doctors, not medical doctors anyway. I'm almost a doctor of music education, but I didn't quite make it. But anyway, the things we're talking about today are things that we are talking about from our own experience and our research that we've done. But before you should do anything about your health, you should probably consult your own physician.
I would agree with you there, Dennis. That is very good advice, and we give that disclaimer throughout this program just to remind you of those very facts, And we all want to, Dennis, I think that everyone would like to live longer, at least for the most part, and be healthier in their later years. Are there things that people can do that will help them to accomplish this goal?
Well, there are a number of things. We're going to talk about 12 of those today. They're the 12 that come up most often in my research. So I think they probably have the best chance of doing something the fastest to help you move in that direction. Mm-hmm. So you ready to get started?
We are, and I won't say what it is, but what I will say is it almost seems counterproductive to wanting to be productive for the most part, uh, because it's like, what do you mean this is what I'm supposed to do to help me to live longer? I'm not doing anything. But in reality, we are. Tell us about number one.
Well, the first one is to get enough sleep. The sleep is when your body rejuvenates. It's when it takes care of the things that are going on that are wrong. It rebuilds the cells and refreshes your brain, lets you think more clearly. And without that, you're asking for problems. If you're only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, you may feel good when you're 45, but when you get to be 65 or 70, uh, that'll catch up with you.
Hmm. Now, I happened to get up. Now, there was a period of time following our move where I was sleeping 7, 8, and 9 o'clock in the morning. And of course, working from home, that was fine, not a problem. But for the most part, and I seem to be back on the same schedule, I'm waking up, and this has nothing to do with the blood sugar. That's leveled out where I'm sleeping the night through. I'm waking up at 5:30, quarter of six, and it's like I need to get up and start doing. So, is there a, shall we say, an optimal number of hours that would facilitate us, helping the body to rejuvenate? I think you mentioned it was 8 hours nightly. Is that optimal amount? And that's, of course, 1/3 of your day, but
Right.
then you still have the other 2/3, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the way to get 8 hours sleep, if you get up early, is to go to bed earlier.
There you go.
And from the studies I've seen, people who do retire earlier sleep better and get a better quality of sleep. So that when they wake up at 5:30, if they went to bed at 9:30, that's 8 hours, they're ready. They feel good, they have a good day, they're not drowsy and sleepy all the time. So 8 hours is optimal. If you get 7, that's probably okay, but you should really strive to get the 8 if you want to have a long and healthy and prosperous life.
Yeah. And I know that there are those who worry about sleeping too many hours because of that very fact that, well, I've got things I got to take care of, and
Right.
life is, the job and the family and this and that and the other. And I guess the response would be, well, but if you're not allowing your body to get back into homeostasis, so to speak, with sufficient amount of sleep, well, then you're gonna have some problems down the road. I mean, because if I'm understanding correctly, there is a detrimental effect to getting less sleep than is optimal.
Well, that's true. Um, you're not going to get a whole lot done if you die.
Well, this is true.
So, so if you have a longer life, it's kind of like Walt Disney. He died very young. He had plans for 15 more years, he
Mm,
thought, but he hadn't taken care of his health. So he wasn't able to accomplish, and it changed the entire world. You can read about that in my book, by the way, if you want to go to Real Impact Daily Inspiration. There's a wonderful story about Walt Disney and all the things he accomplished. He did more in his short life than most three other people, three other people. But if he had 15 more years, he would have changed the way we're living today.
yeah, it is something I know that a lot of people they do indeed struggle with, and we hope that you will take and consider the advice that we're giving you from personal experience. I mean, even for me, I'm going to say that I don't always get optimal sleep. In other words, 8 hours. But I do the best I can, and sometimes I'm feeling a little peckish. I don't know, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I might go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to pause here. I'm gonna take a nap, or
That's
even
great.
at the very least, go into the bedroom with my wife, just lie there, and she's got the TV on, she's watching one of her special documentaries or what have you. and just decompress, so to speak, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes. Those naps can kind of help too, can't they?
Exactly. Yeah, a 20-minute nap's great. Now if you go past 45 minutes or you reach 45 minutes, then that's going to cause you to have problems sleeping at night. So if you want to take a nap, make it a 20-minute nap, not an extremely long one. And if you take a 45-minute nap, you're going to probably feel worse after your nap than you did before. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's according to the research that I have done. The that's the criteria you need to take into account when you're taking naps.
Right, right. Well, again, it's all we all have choices to make. It's kind of based on my book, Choices: 5 Steps for Life, and it's all about making choices in our lives to live the kind of life that we want to live. And we encourage you to check out the information. By the way, you can do that by going to dennisjhenson.com, then click on the health tab at the top of the page and scroll down. And you will see all kinds of great information from previous episodes, including this one, that you will be able to incorporate into your life should you choose to do so. Once again, with our ongoing disclaimer that we encourage you to check with your your personal care individual, your practitioner, if you will, your doctor, and check that out. All right, so Dennis, let us move on to another one that once again, some of these they seem kind of strange, but what's interesting is because there are 12 of them, and our systems, our body systems, whether it's the nocturnal aspects of sleeping or otherwise, they're all interconnected, and that's why they're here. So let's go on with number two.
Number two is oral care, taking care of your teeth and your mouth. And that's really pretty simple to do if you have a system. And my system is soon after you get up, you want to clean out all the bacteria in your mouth.
Hmm.
Before you do anything else, you want to rinse your mouth out, probably with 3% hydrogen peroxide. Now, I put the peroxide in the water pick, and water picks are very, very important, um, better than flossing. But you should also floss and brush.
Hmm.
So the first thing that you should do, um, unless it's urgent that you do something else, is go and take care of all of the bacteria, the bad bacteria that have accumulated in your mouth, and that way your your teeth will last longer and your health will be much better because the biggest majority of the bad bacteria are in the mouth, and that they're so close to the brain. Um, my secretary has uh, arthritis, terribly. It's not good. It's bad,
Hmm.
and she found out that it may be because of a root canal that she had early in her life. So
Mm,
your oral health has an awful lot to do with your overall health and how long you live.
yeah. I have even heard it said too that you want to be careful, of course, even when you're brushing and or flossing and using water pick and so forth, because there is, and I don't know whether this is true or not, so please let's check this out, that because of some of the bacteria that's in your mouth, that's there, maybe it's overnight, if you don't cleanse the mouth and the teeth and all of this kind of stuff on a regular basis, some of this bacteria can actually work its way into the system and have an impact on your heart.
Oh, absolutely. It has an impact on every system in your body. And
Mm,
it's not it's the worst bacteria in your body.
yeah.
So, and take, being aware of oral care and doing something about it on a routine basis will help you to live a lot longer and have a much happier and healthier life.
Well, number three is coming up, but first we're going to pause here to let you folks know this is Body of Health. And Dennis, I've actually been to the website bodyofhealth.life, Life.
Yes.
And I've seen some of the items that you have available there, very reasonably priced too, by the way. I should add that. And your coffee is there, which I am trying. It's, oh my goodness, it is really, really good. I really enjoy it. But you've got some other things you've mentioned on this program as far as things that would be beneficial to incorporate into our diets, into our daily routine, if you will. I would have to say, when I think of routine, I think, okay, it's morning, I'm making my coffee. Okay, let's get my pills out here, my vitamins and minerals, and a little maybe apple cider vinegar with a little honey and maybe some some lemon juice, some organic or fresh squeezed lemon juice, and so forth. And sometimes I'll even take my pills, which seems kind of weird to do, take it with something that's really going to get those glands a moving. You know how when you bite into an orange for the very first time one day and you get those glands in the back of the jaw that get tingled, you know? But that's the routine I'm talking about in the morning, really following through and keeping that going. And so, God forbid that I should have to have one of those pill caddies and I open it up and there's 16 different pills in there. No, no, no. You don't need to take that many because it doesn't take that much to improve one's health. So go to bodyofhealth.life and check out what is available. And more is coming too, I understand too, Dennis, right?
Yes, the next thing we're putting on is creatine. Creatine,
Mm-hmm.
it's wonderful. I tell you, if you drink uh, morning clarity mushroom coffee,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you feel really good. It
Yep.
takes away the blahs. But let's just say you only got 4 hours sleep for some reason. Maybe you had something that you had to do that took you late into the night. You had to get up early. You still had to go to work, and the morning clarity don't quite pull you out. If you add creatine to morning clarity, you'll think you got 8 hours sleep.
Mm.
I mean, it totally changes. And so that's our newest product. We have quite a few others, but that's the one I'm excited about right now because it's good to have that something healthy that can pull you out of those, oh, I just wish I could go take a nap. It's
Now
hard to
I will
get the
say,
work done.
yeah, I will say that as I mentioned earlier about sometime in late afternoon, it's not so much because I'm running out of steam because I'm not taking the right things. It's more because I've been working. I've been sitting here or doing this, that, and the other thing, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? It would just feel good for 10 or 15 minutes just to sit and do nothing and relax.
Right.
And so get into your morning routine and also stay with us because this is Body of Health here on Tell Me Your Story. Reverend Dr. D and Dennis Henson here on Body of Health here on Tell Me Your Story, and we are talking about the 12 things that can help you. They are 12 important longevity protocols, if you will, that you can use to extend your time here on Earth. And I realize that that is a personal thing that a lot of people, they've been through the ringer in some instances, and it's like they're just exhausted. I've met some people like that, and I also have met some people like that who also have a frown on their face. They don't smile much. I will tell you, Dennis, I am gratified to hear every once in a while, and I say this humbly. I get comments from people saying, "Richard, you're really 65? You look good. You look pretty good." And I'm thinking, okay, I guess my family used the right preservatives or what have you. But
Okay.
one in particular, I guess this is number four here. Actually, no, no, number three. I beg your pardon. Is one that we've talked about before, and I am working here where we live up on the mountain on creating down on ground level. And even if it means just walking out the bedroom door, we have actually an access door to the outside from our master bedroom, which is nice. I'm going to terrace a space out there right outside down those steps to where we can walk out there, just step down on that dirt and just get what's called grounding. Now, the downside is, of course, not getting a whole lot of sunlight, but those are the two elements that you want to bring to us now that are really very important. And again, these aren't in any particular order, but these two, you don't have to do it around your home. If you've got a park nearby, get out there and participate in. So let's talk a little bit about this. And some people call it earthing as opposed to grounding. It's all the same thing. But boy, I'll tell you what, I actually, after our program talking about the sunlight, I go outside to the front in the early morning, sometimes 8:30, 9 o'clock, and the sun is just starting to come up over the trees. And now it's moving further north as we head towards summer. And I'm getting direct sunlight. And I close my eyes and I just stand there and I put my face towards the sun. Feels so good.
Absolutely. And one important thing is when you first get up, if you can go outside and let your eyes take in the sunlight,
Hmm.
that resets your sleep clock. That means, okay, it's morning now. We're going to be awake for this amount of time so that when it's time to sleep at night, it's much easier to go to sleep. The hard part about getting 8 hours of sleep is not going to bed and getting to sleep. It's when you wake up at 1:30 or 2 or 3 in the morning and you can't go back to sleep.
Hmm.
Well, this early morning sunlight, the sooner you can get it in your eyes, helps correct that problem. And I mix the two together. I just keep I keep my socks and shoes off. And when I'm going out to get my morning sunlight, I just walk in the grass
Mm.
or walk on the pathway behind my house, get drinking the sunlight into my eyes, and I'm grounding at the same time. So it's like killing two birds. But both of those things will help with longevity.
Oh yeah. I am a proponent of that. And I will say that I missed it when we lived in Santa Barbara because the area around our house outside, you could never be sure if the ground was clear of stickers and thorns and things like that. That's kind of an important thing to do. So if you can maybe prepare a place, prepare a space, doesn't have to be that big. It'd
Right.
be nice if it was so you could really walk around, like you say. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, and even in the summertime, we were running around barefoot. And it was fantastic. Yeah, there were times, yeah, we had to run on the hot concrete and we moved very fast. But there's nothing like that. And I do remember that as a child, running around, a young adult, having that opportunity as well. So take advantage of that. Another element that, oh, and I will also say too that this is different from what I experienced when I was out there when there was sunlight and shoveling the snow, and there was a lot of snow everywhere. It was still very close to the last snowfall, and I'd go in the house and I could barely see where I was going. The snow blindness, as they say.
Yes.
So I'd make sure to have my sunglasses on, but that's a whole different kettle of fish there in that regard. But at the same time, when I was wearing the sunglasses and I was out there doing that, it still felt really, really good working out there and being out in nature and so forth. One of the other elements too, they talk about the four elements of wind, fire, earth, and this one's very important for us because I believe what are we? We're 95, I think it's 95% or a little higher than that, made up of water. So it's important to stay hydrated, but there's another element in hydration that a lot of people don't think about that much unless of course maybe they're taking one of these waters that has these in them. Talk to us about this.
Well, first of all, most people don't drink enough water.
Hmm.
And the ones that drink enough probably don't do it the way it should be done for better health. If you drink 6 glasses of water a day, that's probably pretty good,
Hmm.
unless you drink them all at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, a little bit of rain's good for the garden, but a flood is not.
yeah. I,
So
I'd
that's
need a
kind
nap after all that.
of So if you want to get the most out of the water you drink, then mix it with sea salt or Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, just a pinch of that under your tongue, and you drink the water, and it hydrates many, many times better than if you just drink the water by itself. And again, it should be throughout the day. You need to have a system, a habit, so that you're going to drink water at these times. It's kind of surprising how dehydrated people are. And people die of dehydration and they don't even realize that that's what it was. Their arteries hardened. Their heart had to pump much, much harder, work much harder because they didn't have enough fluid in the body to make the body work. And your body is pretty much a battery anyway. So you need the salt and the water to make the battery work.
Yeah.
So this is a tip. Most people that are hearing this are probably not doing it. So we're probably helping a lot of people live a lot longer just with this one tip.
Right. Now, overall, if you're in good health, that's great. But there is an indicator that kind of tells you that you're not drinking enough water, whether has electrolytes and or the sea salt, this Celtic or Himalayan salt in it. And I'll just keep it real simple, and that is when you pee, if it's really, really yellow, that's telling you you're not drinking enough water. If it's clear and pale yellow, that is a good indication that you are drinking, at least you're drinking a whole lot more water than you were, and that's going to be better for you. So it's like our bodies can tell us what we're deficient in. And in this case, that's my understanding of one way that you know whether you are hydrating yourself enough each day or not.
Right. And if your blood pressure is too high, that may be another way. That's a terrible way. Or if you have a stroke or a heart attack,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
body's telling you maybe you need more water.
yeah.
So don't let it get to that point.
No,
It's not a hard thing to do. Water doesn't taste bad, doesn't have any taste at all. And the salt, oh, it's not difficult.
yeah,
Just be sure it's not table salt.
yeah,
It
exactly.
needs to be. Celtic is the best. It has more minerals and does, that's exclusively what I use. And you can put it on your food, makes your food taste better. But get the salt in you, get the fluid in you, and you'll live longer and have a happier and healthier life.
Absolutely. Body of Health is the program you're listening to. It's a series of programs designed to help you to live a better quality of life. Even if you are living a good quality of life now, you're feeling great, your numbers are good. Let's say you just had a blood workup and hey, everything, cholesterol's fine and the blood sugar's great and on and on and on. There's always room for improvement. There is always room because our bodies are constantly changing. And so is this program. And we're going to continue to move forward and change with these 12 points that we're going to talk more about for your longevity, for my longevity, as we continue here on Tell Me Your Story. Reverend Dr. D. Dennis Henson here with Body of Health, and we move on to our next element here in the equation. And I'm going to let you talk to us about some of these daily healthy intakes. And these are very powerful. And some folks probably may, if they've been listening to this program for any length of time, they probably heard some of these, but maybe not. If this is the first time, we're going to let Dennis enlighten us on what these are.
Well, the next one is not as widely known as the ones that we just covered, but there have been studies done. There's certain places in the world, I think they call them blue zones or maybe green, I'm not sure, but there's places in the world where people live to be over 100. It's not unusual to have quite a few people that's living to be over 100. So they've gone in and checked out their diet and said, what do you do differently? Some of the things that they do differently is the things that they intake. And the number one thing is fermented foods. If they eat a lot of sauerkraut, kimchi, and kefir, then those people live longer. Another one is green tea, extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil, cacao. and mushroom coffee. Yeah. I would suggest that Morning Clarity mushroom coffee would be one because it has, it's high in antioxidants
Mhm.
and it also has other things that help you stay awake, help you sleep better, and so forth. But if you can mix these things into your diet and you think, oh my goodness, I don't like sauerkraut.
Mhm.
Well, even just by itself, it might not be very good, but if you use it correctly and check out some recipes on YouTube or in other areas, it's actually pretty tasty when mixed with other foods.
Yeah.
So that's something to remember. It's easy to add extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil into your diet and replace the bad oils.
Mhm.
And the cacao, oh my goodness. There, if you go to bodyofhealth.life, their recipes, I think there's 6 recipes for cacao, where there's chocolate pudding, there's
Mm.
pie, there's cake, there's ice cream, candy. Oh, and it's just so good. And at the same time, it's being so good for you, it's making you much more healthy and helping you to live longer and your body to regenerate much better.
Yeah. I noticed that the recipes are for those sweet tooth people in that respect. But at the same time, if you look at the recipe, what you're going to find is ingredients that are not necessarily individually part of your diet to feed that sweet tooth, but you mix them together. You put them into the pan and what have you, and if it's a pie or a cake, and you bake it, and you take it out. Oh, how great that is! Yeah, you betcha. I had chocolate cake for dessert last night, or I had chocolate pudding, or whatever the case might be.
Well,
And I
none of the recipes on bodyofhealth.life have any sugar at
right,
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
yet
they're
they taste great.
extremely tasty. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
By the way, I just had a suggestion regarding the sauerkraut. Get some of that Celtic or Himalayan or sea salt. Sprinkle a little on the sauerkraut, and that'll give it a little boost in that regard. Plus, you're getting the minerals from the salt. So,
Right.
just an idea.
Yeah, it's good on hot dogs and hamburgers. Hot dogs are not good for you. Yeah, there needs to be a healthy wiener. They're,
Yeah.
it's hard, they're hard to find, but if you can make a hot dog without the wiener, but the sauerkraut and ketchup and mustard and onions, oh my goodness, that's a good hot dog, but the wiener it'll
Yeah.
kill you. So
Yeah, give me that old fashioned Chicago style hot dog. How about that? I love those wedged tomatoes on a
right.
Chicago style hot dog. That's one of my favorite things. Well, I'll tell you what, let's move on to the next one here. And I want to touch on it, but I want to hold it a little bit, and that is in terms of food combining or the order in which we eat our foods or the combinations therein. But before we go there, our next element has to do with incorporating more fiber in our diet. It's like with the water. The whole point of all of the 95 to 97% of fluid that's in our human bodies is supposed to move like the rivers, and the lakes and the streams to move stuff around and then out. And the fiber is there to kind of do the same thing, to work with the water, isn't it?
When I was doing the research for this program, I found a study that where they studied 200 people, and the ones who lived the longest, 5 years longer, ingested more fiber. And so I started looking, well, what fiber, what can you eat that's got fiber?
Hmm.
So what I found out was plants, nuts, especially blueberries and popcorn. Now I love popcorn. Blueberries has 2% fiber. Popcorn is 8% fiber. And oh my goodness, I went to my wife and showed her that and said, we have to, because I love popcorn. I could eat it all day long. But it's
Hmm.
very high in fiber. The only problem is you have to be careful how you prepare it. you don't want to prepare it with any bad oils. You need to use extra virgin olive oil, the coconut oil when you're putting it together, and put Celtic salt on it, and just enjoy yourself, because you're making your life longer and healthier by having something that's really fun and good to eat. And my dog enjoys it too, by the way.
Well, see, that's another nice thing is if you're I just had a guest on not long ago talking about the human foods, we'll call it that are just as good for humans as they are for our animals. Cats and dogs is what we were talking about primarily. And I found that fascinating that there are some foods like you just described, like popcorn, that are really, really you can share, and you know that the animal wants you to share. We get
Right.
that all the time, don't we?
Exactly. You just be sure you don't put table salt on it. Give
No,
it to the dog. You
yeah,
know, that's not good. Not good for you or the dog, especially the dog.
yeah,
But,
absolutely.
in moderation, maybe I'll eat 4 or 5 handfuls of popcorn, and I'll give the dog a couple of kernels. But he's happy with that. He knows he's going to get a treat when he sees me with popcorn.
Well, the next six that we're going to talk about are all sort of external by nature, whereas everything else we've talked about, you ingest into the body. And one of the other things too that I'd love for us, maybe we'll talk about on another programs, and that has to do with sometimes using certain oils and so forth, topical oils. I know that, for example, a tincture, you take the dropper and you put it under your tongue and you hold it there for a little while, and it's absorbed into the system quicker than if you take it down the esophagus into the stomach. And so for right now, you're basically ingesting, you're drinking it, you're eating it, and you're fortifying your body and giving your body what it needs to generate the chemicals, the chemistry, I should say, that is necessary for our bodies, our minds, our hearts, if you will, the body, mind, and emotions, if you will, to really to be in sync and to be fortified and to be supported. And we hope that you will consider what we are sharing with you. We are going to go into these other six in just a moment, but I want to remind you that you are listening to and watching Tell Me Your Story. This is the Body of Health series, and we're going to be here throughout the year giving you all kinds of great information, personal stories, and observations. This is really where this comes from because Dennis and I are not doctors, and we make that very, very clear that you need to check with your healthcare practitioner or professional, your doctor, whoever it is that you see for guidance in that regard, and make those choices that will help you, and in this case, with this program, to live longer. As we continue here on Tell Me Your Story. This is a program helping you to live longer. We certainly hope that you would like to live longer, and I'll bet you if your health is better than it is today, tomorrow, then you're probably going to think, you know what? I'm feeling pretty darn. I want to do some more stuff. I want to pursue something new. And I know that, Dennis, we can go into that, but we'll hold off on that. We can have people go to our series called Real Impact Daily Inspiration that we did all of 2025. But here we are. The next six are really important. And the first one, for some, it's difficult because sometimes they live in an area like a real urban area. Let's just say, like, oh, I don't know, New York City or the middle of Chicago in a high rise apartment or something. But a lot of people live on a ground floor with a yard and, and that kind of thing, and a neighborhood that they can get this from where they are living right now. And what is that they can get?
Well, the next one is exercise. Um, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's true when it comes to health. So you want to make sure that if you're just sitting around on the chair, you're shortening the length of your life. So you need to get up and move around, take 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. I think the ultimate is 7,000 if you can think 7,000 steps every day. I do 5,000 every single day. Some days I do 10 or 12 or whatever, but my minimum is five. If it's raining, you can't go outside that day. You can't get your steps in. You can rebound. You should rebound every day anyway. So get a little tiny trampoline and just let that be your steps. You probably should do a couple of hundred rebounds, whether you count it as part of your walking or not. Lifting weights is important. High intensive interval training is really, really good. People who do that live into their 90s at least, and some of them live to be 100. But your body's not made to be at rest. It's, muscles, you can continue to build your muscles throughout your life, no matter how old you are. You could be 100 and you can still build muscles. So that's something good to know and something good to do.
Well, the next one, of course, we've talked about, of course, this has been brought up, and one of these also has to do with what we talked about earlier in the program in regards to thermotherapy. Talk to us about that.
Well, right after I had my stroke and I wanted to live longer. I wanted to live because I wasn't sure that I was going to. And I was listening to YouTube about living longer. And one of the things they talked about was a sauna. So if you can do a sauna 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to live 20% longer. That's amazing. It's easy. So I went and told my wife, we're going to put a sauna. We have a small restroom in our house. We just turned it into a sauna.
Oh, nice.
You get a bit addicted to it. It makes you feel so good. And it cleans all the toxins out of your pores. Your skin is the largest organ in your body.
That's right.
And it absorbs every bad thing. So if you're walking on a highway where a truck just passed and all the emissions, your skin's absorbing all that.
Yeah.
And it's really bad for you. But the sauna cleans all that out.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you, and it makes you feel light and good. And it's a wonderful thing. So spend a lot of time in direct sunlight, try to get some sweat going on from that. Do the sauna, even if it's raining outside, you can do that. And another thing is take cold showers or a cold bath with ice. The colder, the better for the shock value.
Yeah.
But getting your body to experience extreme temperature, either cold or hot, is really good for you.
Yeah. Another one, I heard this mathematical equation: 90% of what we do in this area never happens. And so we're kind of wasting our time. This is under the category of stress management. And I like that. If only because Irish, and I'm Irish, have this tendency to worry. So I gotta learn that I need to not worry, period. Not I only need to worry about 10%. No, I need to not worry at all. Let all that go and just move on. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other elements of stress management.
Well, my wife, she has a tendency to worry. We've had this conversation many times,
Mm-hmm.
and that's this. What good does it do to worry? I mean, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
If you think someone, oh, my mother is sick, she's going to pass away. Well, is worrying going to make her well and keep her alive? No. But if you do something about it, maybe that will help.
Yep.
But worrying is the only thing worry does is hurt you. It increases your stress level. It hurts your health. You're going to be less healthy and live fewer amount of years. So every time that something comes into your mind, you have the option to think about something else. So every time you find yourself worrying, you need to make a trigger so that you think of something positive instead of that negative. You can see it in people. You can see it in people in politics. You can see it in people that, just they just are bitter and they hate, they're
Mm,
worried all of the time. You can see them deteriorate before your eyes, like this lady whose mother was kidnapped. A
yeah,
beautiful woman who was on the morning news, just absolutely. And in a month, look what happened to her. I mean, just look at the stress marks on her face and the difference in her health. You can just tell it
yeah.
totally deteriorated. Well, for good reason, but still, you want to avoid that worry because it doesn't change anything
Yeah.
except your health,
Yeah.
and it's not for the good.
I'll just throw one other element in there too, and that is because this is sort of part of the whole worry equation, and that is forgiveness, you
Right.
know, and we need to forgive not just other people. We need to forgive ourselves too. Let it go because that is just as detrimental, and other aspects too as well. Let's move on to number 10, and this has to do with the morning routine of sorts. That has to do with supplements.
Right. Well, the things that you put in your body are very important, and some of them are more important than the others. I think everybody needs to have enough vitamins. If you're not taking vitamins, go get a good multivitamin and take it every day, maybe twice a day. You need to get minerals. You get that from Celtic salt and hormones. People don't realize how important that is. You never hear it talked about. But you need to get D3, which is vitamin D3, which is a hormone, and magnesium, omega 3, DHEA. If you don't have those things going into your body every day, well, you're just cutting down on the amount of years you're going to live a healthy life. So I think you should really take that into account.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that my wife and I are our regiment right now, the one of the first multivitamins. That's not a multivitamin, I'm sorry. But one of the first vitamins that we have incorporated. We're going slow. We're not rushing, because it's important to get used to some of these things. But for us, vitamin D3, we're taking that right now, the two
Good.
of us, and then she's taking a B complex as well, and watching what we eat and all those good things. And to that extent, and I know there's a bit of an explanation here in regards to some acronyms here. NAD that I've heard of is it's like your cell's battery and it fuels your DNA repair, which I never thought was broken. But hey, if it's broken, let's get it repaired. And your body converts the NMN into NAD inside your cells. Well, what about this aspect of fasting? Because we've talked about that before.
Well, fasting is very important. It it gives your body the chance to get rid of all of the bad stuff. So if you have fat in certain areas of your body, the the dead bad stuff, bacteria, germs, and whatever is stored in that. So when you start fasting and your body starts, I guess you'd say eating itself,
Hmm.
it's consuming that fat and destroying the remnants of all of those bad things that it has stored up there, which is really, really good for you. And it does well. We had an entire program. You can go back and review that on how important fasting is.
Hmm.
But the suggestion is it's easy if you do intermittent fasting, which means you skip breakfast. So maybe you have a 16-hour fast between dinner and lunch. Well, that's easy to do. And every time I do it, I lose a lot of weight. So, I mean, if you want to have an easy diet, that's really an easy one. You can eat all you want to for lunch and all you want to for dinner, and then you just fast. Don't have breakfast. Um, a 3-day fast twice a year will make a tremendous difference in your health. And then once a year, if you can get through 5 days, uh, you'll be surprised. because all of these systems kick in when your body thinks, uh-oh, there's no food, I'm going to die. It starts making changes. And those changes are very positive
Yeah.
to your long-term health.
A mindset is also part of this too. I mean,
Yes.
you want to incorporate within your in your life some positive things, and that's why you encouraged and throughout the year last year when we were doing Real Impact Daily Inspiration to read something inspirational every day. And certainly, we would encourage folks to get a copy of Real Impact Daily Inspiration by going to realimpactbook.com and find out more about that. But this last one, number 12, has to do with the thing that we talk about all the time on this program, and it has to do with building community. Whether call it lots of different names, but it's about having that network, that connection with others.
Well, it's been proven that people that have social connections live a lot longer.
Hmm.
And it's fun too. You have friends that you talk to and tell them about things that are going on in your life, and um, it's something to look forward to. One of my friends called last night and he says, "Oh, I'm going to get in touch with John. I'm going to get in touch." And he just mentioned a number of my other friends and he said, "And we can all go out and have lunch." And that's wonderful. I was, really excited. And you can do that too if you have a friend or I enjoy every week. I enjoy getting with Richard every week. So that's a social connection. It doesn't have to be sitting down in the same room with someone. It could be a phone call or even a text or an email. My wife is constantly texting. I go home and then she, so that's part of staying connected. She's from Mexico and she's staying connected with all of her friends that's in Mexico. But that's an easy and fun way to improve the quality and the length of your life.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And if you have someone that is having a little difficulty with all of that, well, hey, just let them know, hey, it'll work out. Just maybe not everybody is outgoing and gregarious, say as myself, but at the same time, we can encourage one another to have those connections in our lives. Dennis, it's been great, this particular program, providing all kinds of great information to our listeners, and I'm hoping that they will take some time to consider and put into practice. Take the massive step, make the choice. Can I put it that way? Make the choice to want to live longer and then maybe do something new. Maybe you've lived 50, 60, 70, 80 years. My mother's 91 this year. My father lived to be 91. I want to live to be 100, but I want to make sure, in the way my mother is sounding, it sounds like she may make it to 100 because she's been doing all the right things and trying to get us to do that too. And I know that's what we're working on here. So we encourage you to make that massive choice that Dennis has been talking about and go on over to bodyofhealth.life. That's bodyofhealth.life. Find out more. And also go to dennisjhenson.com and find out also about the 10 habits that shorten your life, because that's important. Yeah, you can incorporate these 12 steps, these 12 elements to lengthen your life, but you also have to eliminate those elements that are shortening your life. And Dennis, this has been great, and I really look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you very much, Richard. This is always fun. Be sure if you go to realimpact.life and you see a product there and you choose to purchase it, if you'll use the code radio, you get a big discount. So we appreciate you tuning in. Hope that you'll do that. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week.
Absolutely. Well, Dennis, we will talk next week about something new and exciting that can help us all improve our health and well being. And until our next broadcast, podcast, video cast of Body of Health, love to Lal. Jeanette, I'm still listening. Dad, continue to be happy because I am. Smokey, I'll see you on the other side. Mike, thanks for being in my life and letting me be in yours. And to my dear friend Zorro, aho, aho.